Everyone put your cups on. We're talking about some Emirates NBA Cup action, which starts on Tuesday with the Magic and the Bucks and the Mavericks and the Thunder. Now, this is kind of funny because this really speaks to the divide between these conferences. Now, it's not necessarily fair because the Magic are destroyed with injuries, right? Paolo's been out for quite some time. We already knew that, but now Franz is out. So, and the Magic did beat last night the lowly Indiana Pacers, who might be the biggest piece of shit, sorry, excuse team so far this season. God bless the Indiana Pacers. God bless Indiana Pacers fans. But so far this season, they've been the saddest piece of shit team that we've seen probably. Is there a team that's been more sad than them? The Suns without KD are 1-11, so it could be them. Oh, the Suns. The Magic beat the Suns. My bad. My bad. I was confusing my horrible losses. The Magic beat the Suns last night. The Pacers lost to the Hornets. So 10 times worse. Hornets without probably 7 of their players. Sixers are sadder than the Pacers. Come on now. Real quick, before we dive off into the NBA Cup action, I do want to point out the Sixers, I believe, have won 4 of their last 5 games, and wouldn't you guys believe it? They are now half a game out of a play-in spot. Beyond that, they're only 4.5 games out of the 6th seed. I joked that they will, with Franz's injury, they'll probably be a top 5 seed by Inauguration Day. That's how pathetic this conference is. They'll probably be a top 5 seed by the inauguration. According to Cleaning the Glass, of the top teams, Boston, Cleveland, Dallas, OKC, Memphis, New York, Houston, the Mavericks by far have the toughest strength of schedule so far. The other teams are bottom 5. Wow. I saw the Mavericks have the second hardest schedule moving forward, so that doesn't make sense, but okay. So anyways, let's talk about the Cup. The divide here. The Magic are injured now. The Hawks are here. But you look at it and it's like dogs in the Western Conference. Thunder Mavs. Could very easily be a Western Conference Finals preview. Rockets Warriors. It's a great game. Bucks Magic, Knicks Hawks. Oh, okay. Okay. So I saw Legler said that the Mavs Thunder game is maybe the championship. That whoever wins this is going to win it all. I actually like the Rockets. If I had to pick a team to win it right now, I think I'd pick the Rockets. And my reasoning behind that is it's a one-game elimination. These tournament games, anything can happen. I mean, we got the Lakers versus the Pacers last year. The Pelicans made it. I really like their athleticism, how hard they play. I think in a setting like this, that's going to play really, really well. Really, really well. And I think you get this point, and maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm off base. But I think you get this point where teams like the Warriors, you know, they've won a ton. The Thunder, they're still young and trying to prove themselves. The Mavericks, they went to the finals last year, the conference finals 3 years ago. You know, the Rockets come out guns a-blazing. I mean, in a lot of ways, these are the biggest games these guys have ever fucking played in. Like, I think that there's an edge there that they have. I do think that they'll beat the Warriors. I think their size is going to give them some problems. Speaking of the Warriors, did you guys see Draymond Green doing Rudy Gobert like that last night? Some of those size up dribbles in between the legs, just hilarious. Fucking hilarious. Has he ever moved like that in his life? Has he ever moved like that in his life? How much money does the winner get from the Cup championship? $500,000. So anyways, I think the Rockets win against the Warriors. It's in Houston. But I think their size, their athleticism, I think it's just going to overwhelm the Warriors just a tiny bit. This would be a nice, these playoff settings. It's a nice, especially for a team like the Rockets, where we're kind of interested in what we're going to see from them in a postseason setting. I love the way that they've played so far this year. The reality is, though, they haven't, so far this season, found a reliable, consistent go-to guy. Şengün's been incredible, but I'm talking like in a game, hey, we got to have our guy put up 35 points tonight. Like, that has to be what happens tonight. We need it. It's a must-win game. We know their other star is going to show up. We got to get 30 out of you. They don't have that guy currently that I feel like really comfortable. Jalen Green's been very disappointing so far this season. And I do love Şengün, but I don't think he's like at that point. So this will be a fun little litmus test for them. But the Warriors have cooled off a tiny bit over their really, really hot start to the season. But he healed Popoff last night. That's a good sign because he's really been struggling as of late. But, if the Warriors get hot from 30 and are just bombing threes, the Rockets probably won't have an answer for that. They're not really a three-point shooting team. Last time the Rockets beat the Warriors, Jokic had 0 MVPs, and that's a good point as well. The Rockets just cannot beat this fucking Warriors team at all. But that being said, I like them in this game. I think this is where they finally get that monkey off their back. So I'm picking the Rockets over the Warriors. Mavs, Thunder. Woo! So this will be the first time the Mavs see the Thunder with like real legitimate center presence in the form of Isaiah Hartenstein. The Mavs beat the Thunder in OKC earlier this season with no Luka Doncic, if you remember that. But that was with no Chet Holmgren and no Isaiah Hartenstein. The Thunder were incredibly small. Caruso didn't play in that game either. The Thunder were incredibly small, and the Mavericks just Slightly, the girlfriend promised me poon if the Mavs. Okay. No center, and the Mavericks just bullied them with their size. But that was a different Mavericks team than the way that they're playing now. That was sort of the start of their hot stretch. But Luka looks like, an MVP since he's come back from his wrist injury. I'm hopeful that Najee Marshall's going to play. I don't know if we've heard any updates about him. This is going to be a fucking bloodbath, I think. Now, I will say, I do worry that there's going to be like this amongst Thunder. The crowd's going to be incredible. The players and stuff like that. There's going to be like, man, fuck these guys. Like, these guys came into our house last year and embarrassed us in the playoffs twice. We went 1-2 at home in our series against them. They beat us in the playoffs. They came in here earlier this season, beat our ass with no Luka. Like, fuck them. We're gonna go out and take care of business. I do have a feeling about that. I am worried about Lou Dort not doing anything offensively, but murdering players on the court. While we're talking about this, Brandon Ingram, unfortunately, the Pelicans season from hell continues. Brandon Ingram suffered an ankle injury in their game against the Oklahoma City Thunder a few nights ago, just when it was starting to feel as if the Thunder were finally, or the Pelicans were finally starting to get some people back, and even if it was already too late, that they'd at least be a little bit more competitive. Brandon Ingram gets injured and is going to miss a serious amount of time with an ankle injury. I want to point to this play. This is from Ingram Alerts. Shout out to Ingram Alerts. What do you guys feel about this play right here? Now, they called this an offensive foul. It got reviewed. They reviewed it, and they determined it was an offensive foul. But Lou Dort flops, kicks his leg out. Brandon Ingram lands on it. Really good ankle here, folks. Turns that ankle over and has a high ankle sprain. So if this were any other player in the league, or at least a player who doesn't have a reputation like this, I would maybe say, wow, that's just a really unfortunate injury. Like, definitely kind of a reckless play to be flopping like that, but, right in someone's landing space, but just an unfortunate injury. Lou Dort, this shit's dirty as fuck. I'm sorry. It is. I absolutely believe this was done intentionally. Why do I believe that? Because this guy's dirty, and he's a flop artist. He's one of the biggest floppers in the fucking sport. It's awful and excruciating to watch. Okay? It's seriously terrible to watch. So does he get hit with an elbow here? The replay, honestly, it's up for debate whether or not he gets hit with an elbow. But to go down and kick your leg out like that, I'm sorry. I don't believe it. I think Lou Dort's a dirty player, yeah. But I also do think that he's one of these like hustle. He does hustle players who hustles very recklessly, meaning I'm diving for loose balls. I'm diving into your knee if I have to. I'm flopping to sell a call, and I'll flop into your leg. I'll flop into your landing zone. I'll kick my feet up, and kick you in the chest. Like that's the way that I'll play. I'll come over a ball screen, flop, and I'm contorted. My body's completely shifted sideways. My feet are in the air. It better not kick you in the face. When you have a reputation like that, yeah, I'm not giving you the benefit of the doubt on a play like this. Absolutely not. And Ingram Upstate's also shared, there's something about Ingram. This is a foul 100% too. These plays are so fucking dangerous, man. How is that not a foul? It's because Ingram kicked his feet out. But that's absolutely a foul right there. Into the landing zone. I'm 100% in favor of refs taking into consideration the reputation of players. Slightly question, would Lou Dort be being suspended as long as the time Brandon Ingram is out over the top? Yeah, that would be over the top in my opinion. I think it's just fine to say, that's a dirty play. And here's a closeout from earlier in the game. I mean, how's that not a foul? Like, what the fuck? Come on, ref. Brandon Ingram is not going to complain to the ref. That's a damn shame. Shout out to Ingram alerts. This is supposed to be a depressing page to run. Must be a depressing page. But anyways, yes, we saw it all postseason long in the Mavs series against the Thunder. Lou Dort on the ground constantly, getting over screens, falling to the ground. Good defender, good physical defender, but just annoying. It is annoying. So anyways, this is going to be a great game. Well, I mean, what is there to say? We've already seen this team in the postseason. I'm very interested to see how the Hartenstein wrinkle affects this matchup because we haven't seen it, right? Obviously, Chet was playing in that postseason series. Was a little bit different. Chet doesn't play like your traditional five, obviously, and Chet's three-point shooting was just completely and totally, out of the equation by that point in the season. So the Mavs felt very comfortable, helping off of him, whatever the case may be. Obviously, Hartenstein's not a shooter, but he is so effective as a screener and as a screen and roll guy that you do have to play close to the level. And I'm just interested to see. I'm interested to see how this matchup's going to unfold now because the Mavericks have dominated them on the glass. They've dominated them with size. Hartenstein definitely changes that a little bit. So I'm excited to see this. I know Chet's not playing this game. Mavs fans are trying to cook Jokic on Twitter so badly. I know, we've already talked about it. I'm not interested in doing any of that shit currently. And then in the East, we have the Bucks and Magic. Bucks are 7.5-point favorites. I'll pick them to win against a Magic team that, without Franz, without Paolo, the Bucks are rolling lately. This will be a fun game. But I do think the Bucks win this. And then the Knicks and the Hawks. Don't sleep on my Hawks. Trae Young at Madison Square Garden. Place is going to be rocking. It's going to feel like a playoff atmosphere. Don't sleep on my Atlanta Hawks. They're playing a good brand of basketball right now. Defensively, they have just a lot of athletes surrounding Trae Young and Clint Capella. So, do they have enough to slow down this vaunted Knicks offense? I'm not sure, and I really worry about Capella in a matchup like this, defensively against a guy like Karl Anthony Towns, obviously. But this could be a fun game. I think the Knicks do win. Trae going to shoot like 4 of 21, but like 20 assists. I do think that the Knicks win ultimately because I just think offensively they're so difficult to stop. I don't know if the Hawks have the personnel for this group, for this Knicks team that you would really look for. And offensively for Atlanta, I'm just not sure they're going to get enough scoring at the end of the day. Mavs fans, we dealt with Philly fans and their entire organization. You're too nice to bother us. Yeah, that's true. That got nasty as well. I find it surprising OKC is favored against the Mavs. Really? I don't think that's surprising. So who am I picking in the Mavs Thunder game? Can I be honest with you guys? My heart's my heart's telling me the Mavs. Obviously, my brain's telling me the Thunder. I'm just being honest. I'm just being totally honest here. My brain is telling me the Thunder. I worry about that Hartenstein wrinkle. Now, this isn't a playoff series. Like, if these teams met in a playoff series, I'm saying this. I'm just saying in a one-game, do-or-die scenario on the road, I think this is a tough one for the Mavs. Yeah, I'll be live on playback. But somebody did mention that PJ didn't hit a 3 last game, so it might be go time. It might be go time on Tuesday night. It's going to be a great game, though. I've got a gut feeling my balls that the Mavs win by 12. Oh, that would be sick. Elimination game, Luka. That's true. You got Clay and OKC as well. Do or die. You don't trust Luka. I do trust Luka, but I just think I think there's going to be some extra motivation for the Thunder. Not to say that there's not any for the Mavs. But I think there might be a little extra motivation. Like, man, this team has fucking embarrassed us here over the last 6 or 7 months. Thunder have more stakes, I feel. Well, last year's playoffs, the Mavs took game 1 to feel out the other team. That is true, too. They only won game 1 once. It was against the Timberwolves. Do you submit your bracket on the NBA app? No, but I will do that. So in an effort to maybe be right, I think I'm going to pick the Thunder here. It's not the end of the world. I would not, as it stands currently, I would not pick the Thunder in a series against the Mavericks. I would not. But that's without us seeing Chet and Hartenstein yet. But as it stands currently, I do not think I'd pick the Thunder in a series over the Mavericks. But in a one game on the road, one game at home, I guess I should say, for the Thunder, like, we really want to win this fucking game. Reverse psychology, I like it. Yeah, you guys see what I'm cooking up. So I have the Rockets beating the Warriors. I do think that they get the monkey off their back in a big way. So we'd have Rockets, Thunder. Whew. Those two teams played a great basketball game a few weeks ago. Has it really been 15 straight games? Jesus. I'm not going to be mad if the Mavs lose, but the vibes would be through the roof if they do win. Yeah, they would. Thunder will beat the Rockets at OKC. I really like the Rockets in a setting like this. I do. Just all of these athletes. One of the best defensive teams in the NBA. They put so much pressure on the ball, generate so many turnovers, generate so many second chance opportunities with their crashing the glass, with Şengün, with their athletes crashing from the corners and wings. They get out and they run. I mean, that's kind of like a recipe in a one-game setting like this. Like, if this were March Madness, you'd look for teams like that. I'm going to pick Houston to make it out of the West, I think. And I think I'm going to pick the Bucks to make it out of the East. So Bucks and Rockets would be my final. And fuck it. Let's go Houston. Let's go Houston winning the NBA Cup this year. Let's go Houston. Bucks not beating the Knicks. That'd be a good game. I really like the way the Bucks have been playing lately. Houston not winning. Who do you think is the Rockets' missing piece to make them a true contender? They need a go-to guy. And I think they could, the way that their team is built, I think they could have it be any number of players. Fox for them. Woo! I love the idea of De'Aaron Fox on their basketball team. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Book would be nice. What's going on with him, though? Anyone else a little concerned by Devin Booker's play this year? I mean, I know Suns fans are. I'm really hoping for a Mavs vs. Warriors rematch. That would be fun. I could see. I think both of these West games are complete and total pick'ems, and I think the championship game in the West would be a complete and total pick'em. the Bucks and the Knicks should take care of business here. But in my heart, what I really want to see is a Hawks and Mavs championship. I mean, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? We get the Luka Trey championship that we've been praying for, just in a different way. Why is it only Hawks Knicks on ESPN? I don't know. That's actually a good question. Doesn't look invested, checked out when offense started running through Durant. He looks, I mean, he's got a lot of wear and tear. He looks like a step slower. And it does feel like he's taken a step. And I wouldn't say Devin Booker hasn't looked invested. I'll say he's taken a step back in an effort to try and facilitate more, try and be, what he was in Team USA, basically, this role guy who I'll go get a bucket if you need it, but you guys take care of business. When that, in reality, should not be who, Book is. So you're not only rooting for the Mavs, for the Hawks too? Yeah, I'll root for the Hawks too.